So this week's topic is not an easy one for me to go through, which is talking about the video game articles made by Kotaku and others. I know that seems like a very easy video to make, but allow me to explain my conundrum. Covering video games tends to have one of two outcomes. You're either not strict enough with your verdicts and don't really discuss every feature of the game, much like IGN's articles, or you completely ignore what value the game has to discuss why a character looks or acts a certain way. It typically comes down to people on YouTube to create proper deep dive videos to discuss the gameplay in greater detail. With video games being very flexible, there's a lot that can be reviewed about them, and it is reasonable to say that no one would be able to cover everything a game has to offer, more so a week before the game launches. It's not to say a journalist can never write a good article, it all depends on the scope and whether the article is trying to be specific, or if it's trying to give you an overview of the game itself, or if it's trying to push a message that no one's asking for. The last one being something that I would expect from YouTube channels like Extra Credits or others on YouTube or Twitter, but not from a paid employee or freelancer for Kotaku, IGN, Forbes, and others. It's one thing for someone to have their own individual and heavy biased thoughts, and have it be something they cover for their own channels, and it's another for them to do so in the company's time. It does seem like more journalists care about expressing their own views, rather than reporting on whatever it is they're reporting on, twisting the entire narrative of an article to be about something they care about, and not necessarily something that would affect others, because it's obvious they don't care about the game themselves. Again, if you do feel so inclined to share your thoughts about something so specific, you probably should write about it on your own page. Just try not to pass it off as a full-fledged article. And here's the thing, whenever one of these sites posts up a hot take, it generates a lot of views for a few days, then you have channels that cover said article, which leads more people to going to the website to view that article. In short, these websites can post whatever they want, gain a lot of traffic, and usually say nothing about retracting or removing said article. It's a win-win all around to artificially create drama that people can latch onto. If I wanted to be involved with drama, I'd take acting lessons, not create meaningless dribble that gets overexposed. I personally hate being involved with drama, and it's difficult for me to put the energy into something like this, which is why I normally stay out of the way of combating these articles with a video. Either I give in and overreact, which proves their point, or I spend half an hour tactfully tearing apart the article, which not only would that be tiring, but it would also mean that I had to forcibly burn my eyes reading the entire article and painstakingly quote the article line by line. I'd rather just take snippets of the article in context and discuss them on Twitter or social media. That way, there's less traffic that goes directly back to the website, and I don't have to read the entire thing. I'm not going to put more work than what the author did in order to speak to the void. And I know it seems hypocritical that I'm here now speaking to the void, but there is a difference. I don't mind making YouTube videos, I have fun doing them, even if I can only make them once a week due to my certain time constraints. I'm making these videos to eventually do this full time, as well as cover the gaming industry in my own way. The emphasis is on my own way, not criticize how others are talking about the gaming industry. If some college student who lucked out working for IGN writes a bad article, that's one problem. But if a multi-billion-dollar gaming publisher releases a bad game, that is a different problem, and one that I'd be more than willing to talk about. In one instance, you're being tricked to read one poorly written article, whereas in the other, you're being tricked to pay for a badly made game. I don't care about how someone hates the small vent holes on an Xbox. Yes, that is a real article. I care more about pushing the gaming industry and seeing proper changes and innovation. It's obvious that's not what these news sites are doing or care to do, and would rather give a passing grade to just about any game they review. Again, I could not care less about these writers. Yes, it does bug me when the hit piece comes across my feed, but that's more because the website approved the article as is and didn't see anything wrong with it, and further proving to the world how horribly immature the gaming audience is. Not every article is bad, not every writer is bad, not every article a bad writer makes is bad, but to see how careless these companies are is just outright embarrassing. I'm not going to call out on other people who enjoy gaming in their own way. I'll just disagree with their take and move on. There isn't any benefit for me to go after those who are doing the same thing as me, reporting on the gaming industry. Time will tell who was right and who was wrong, and I'm more than willing to wait it out and see these countless articles turn to dust. I am going to continue talking about the gaming industry and do my best to accurately represent the games I'm covering. And, well, maybe I will make another video talking about a garbage article. It all depends. If an article does go out of its way to leave out certain specific gameplay features to try to create a narrative, like with what happened with Raider or not, I'll probably cover it. I'm still confused as to why they didn't even try to contact the developers. Even the tabloids at your local grocery store have more context and quotes than the typical Kotaku article. So if you're going to fake an article, at least commit to it, you know? Anyways, I'm done rambling. I said what I could about the matter. If you want more non-biased but cynical videos like this, consider subscribing. Any kind of support is greatly appreciated. So until the next Bad Kotaku article, or next week, provided I can keep the schedule, I am Mr. Rain, and I will see you next time.